What's your favorite scary story? What's your favorite scary story, actually? Like, low-key. Like, if you had to choose only one to listen to every single night.
I'm going to have to come back at you in like a month after I figure that out.
There's
the
that
hardest
many?
question. I know of a lot of scary stories, babe.
Yeah, I guess so. You would, actually.
I mean, that's why we're here, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, the majority of the ones that people send in, I've heard of, at least.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm somewhat of an expert, some would say.
Wow, the professional over here.
That's me.
Anyway, welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is What's Your Favorite Scary Story. My name is Alyssa.
And I'm Marlene.
And welcome back, you guys.
Welcome
I miss
back
you.
To your favorite podcast with your favorite lesbian couple.
That's us.
Where you send in your suggestions and we
talk about them.
We talk about your suggestions.
So send them in, peeps.
ASAP.
We need them.
ASAP
Send
Rocky.
all the stories. ASAP Rocky. Yes, that. We want horror. Not horror. What?
Horror.
Not that either. We want ghosts, paranormal, spooky, cryptids,
true crime,
urban legends, true crime, aliens.
Your dream from last night.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, dreams.
Everyone send in your dream from last night, and then Marlene will interpret them because she's really good at that. I actually got her like a legit book that interprets like all the dreams.
Yo, it cost her like $1 million or something like that. I saw it on the internet, and I was like, babe. And that was one of the first gifts she got me.
It was like a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like one of the first gifts she got me, and I remember being like, if she gets it for me, she actually loves me.
And that was like a random gift too. It wasn't even like for anything.
But that's also part of my love language though. Yeah. Like that is my love language.
And that's part of mine is like giving gifts. Like I love just seeing things that I'm like, it's perfect for her. I must get it. And then it happens like 7 more times that week. And that's a problem.
It's funny too because that's how I give love too, because I just don't know how to give it in general. So sometimes if you tell me like, oh, I like this, I'm like, I'll get it for you. Like, oh, I got it.
Your face.
Kind of thing. Because I don't know how else to like show that I love you.
You're good at giving love.
I guess so. I don't feel like
I think you're good at giving love, like words of affirmation, but like sporadically, because when you do it, it's like very well thought out and well put, and it's like a paragraph when you're just like telling me how you feel about me randomly.
It's because
that's yours, and I'm like, I love you. And that's all I got.
I love you. Well, yeah, that also means a lot. I guess like words and gifts are mine.
Yeah.
Physical touch too.
Same.
Maybe. I mean, for me, maybe. It depends.
Yeah, you're picky when you want to be touched.
Yeah.
I get it. Anyways, crazy. What?
Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say crazy week with the weather, man. Like 18 tornadoes were coming through.
I like totally forgot about that. I like blocked it out.
I was trying to think about like to talk about our week, and I'm like, what happened this week? And I was like, oh yeah, we were locked in the bathroom with cats.
To start off, about a week ago, we got our first tornado warning.
Yep.
In Tennessee. And it was not fun because we did not sleep at all that night.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, I even called my boss and I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm not gonna Sorry, my dentist just texted me. Apparently, I guess they have and they didn't say Marlene, they said Marlin.
Oh, like Marlin or Marlene?
Marlin, Marlin.
Oh, I guess you're a clownfish now.
I guess so. Anyway. First tornado warning. It sucked too because I woke up early that night, like at 1, and then I couldn't sleep, and I needed I just thought of like the worst things, and sometimes I have to wake up Alyssa to reassure me, that life is okay and like that I'm okay, and that she still loves me, okay. And I'm like, hey babe, do you still love me? And she's like, yes, go back to sleep.
I don't remember that.
And then it was like 1:30 or something.
Yeah, and then like 2:30,
we got the alarm.
It started going,
and I had not. It's like an Amber Alert.
Yeah. But like 10 times louder. Yeah. My God.
And so.
And it was both of our phones, and you had the TV on, and I feel like it went off on the TV too.
No, it's because we listen to Ryan Hall, y'all, because he's like the best at like forecasting and talking about the fucking weather over here. So I had him on when I woke up because I had seen that the weather was bad.
Possibly like gonna be a thing.
So I couldn't go to sleep, turned it on. I assumed I was just gonna be like up for another hour and then go back to sleep. And no. It was just a sleepless night, and some of my coworkers had it the worst because they are out in the country.
Right.
And so, yeah, I woke up and I called my boss, and I was like, yo, I need sleep. Like, I did not sleep. And, so I was like, I feel like amongst, like, 2 other people, I was, like, the only one that was, like, also running on 0 sleep because I only slept maybe an hour in total. And then I got to work, and they're like, oh, someone over here couldn't get up after. And I'm like, how do you guys do this? You know? How do you stay up all fucking night and then be like, oh, I gotta go to work now?
Like, I at least got, I think I went in at 12 to work. So I at least, like, got some hours, you know?
Yeah, because we were able to go back to bed, like, around maybe
5
4.
something.
Yeah, 5 something.
Yeah, and I woke up at, like, 9:30,
Yeah, because we thought we were in the clear at 4:15. And then all of a sudden it got extended to 4:45, and then it got pushed to 5 something.
Well, no, okay, it like got extended to like 4 something, and then it passed that time by like 10 minutes, and I'm like, I guess we're in the clear. Like, they don't say anything when it's like over, but it said until this time, and it was past the time, so we got all like the blankets we had in the bathroom, and
we thought about it. We were like, you were like, should we just go to bed? And I was like, I don't know. Like,
well, it was
give
supposedly
it like 10
over,
more minutes,
and we did 10
more minutes. And...
So then we moved all the blankets back to bed, and literally had just like laid down the last pillow, and again, another warning goes into effect for like 25 minutes. So we kind of just like waited it out. Nothing bad happened except like the loudest thunder strike I've ever heard in my life happened right over the house.
Okay, so
and I was like
we had gotten
slightly falling asleep. So.
It's because we had gotten a thunderstorm warning after the tornado, because it's like they're not
still
always
storming.
Yeah, it's still storming. I learned that they're not always together. We can have a tornado without a thunderstorm or a storm, whatever. But yeah, we were like, and I was finally going to sleep.
Me too. And then it happened, and I like shot out of bed because I thought we were still in a tornado warning, and so I thought it found us, and I was like, let's go. We gotta go. We gotta get in the bathroom. Come on. I was like,
no. You're like underestimating like the whole situation, because you literally, Alyssa freaked the fuck out, and she shot out of bed, and she was like, "It found us! It found us!" And I was like, I was like, what? And she's like, "Go, go, go, go!" And I was like,
I was trying to, and then like the thunder and me freaked all the animals out. Marnie's running around, the cats run under the bed, and I'm like, we're not gonna be able to get the cats out of the bed.
And I'm like, babe, it was just a thunderstorm warning. They said we're clear on the tornado.
I had never heard thunder so loud.
It was
right
God. Over us, though. That's
it was
why.
Scary.
It was kind of fucking loud. Like, it was crazy.
Oh man. Yeah, storms, and then.
Yeah,
it happened
all
like
weekend.
A couple of other days. Yeah.
That was Thursday, and then throughout the weekend we had like 4 days of like
tornado watches. And warnings.
We might get a tornado today.
Yeah,
kind of thing. It's like, what the fuck?
But we survived. We made it through.
Thank
God. Yeah, that was our week.
Yeah, and one more thing.
What?
I learned how to do this.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, something like that. Doesn't that last part sound like SpongeBob? Almost? Oh, shit.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Marlene, I was working on tonight's story, actually. Marlene was just, as she does, distracting me the whole time. Well, and it was like, let me sing karaoke. What karaoke song can I sing?
I was like, are you going to give the whole story?
Yes, that's the story. And so she was like scrolling karaoke songs, and I was like, ooh, Piano Man. And she was like, I don't know that song. And I'm like, that's the point of karaoke. They give you the words. But I still had to sing it with her a little bit to...
Yeah, I recognized it more when you played it. And then I was like, okay, so I know that the melody of, like, the song, it like, repeats itself. Yeah.
But, yeah, in that song, they use a harmonica.
I'm sure mostly everyone listening to this knows Piano Man.
What did Marlene just go online and buy that night?
Yo, it was $17, dude. I was like, I have $17.
You do have $17.
I had $17. I'm gonna buy this harmonica.
And it literally showed up the next morning before you left for work.
I knew it was there, so I was like rushing to work, and I opened up the front door, and I was like, yes. And
this is at like 6:30 a.m. the next morning. But she learned how to play a snippet of Piano Man on it for me. That's love, guys. Very beautiful.
Thank you. This is my first second wind instrument, actually first that I've owned.
Nice.
We had a recorder, if that counts.
I think we all had a recorder. Oh man.
Anywho,
that's awesome, babe. Good job.
Thank you. I also have a very short fun fact.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it. Ready, go.
Not so fun facts with marbles. So I really had to get this fact straight, right? Because
not gay?
Not gay.
Okay.
Very, very straight.
Okay.
Opposite of our podcast.
Hey.
So growing up, I don't know if this happened to you, when I was corrected, and someone somewhere at some point was like, it's not octopuses.
Oh, octopi.
It's octopi.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, thank you for enlightening me. You know, I never.
I actually don't remember when I learned that, but I did learn it at some point. I just don't know when.
So for some reason, I was like, let me look that up. You know, let me see where it came from. Maybe that could be my fun fact. You know.
Okay.
And so I found out that the word octopus comes from Greek and not Latin. So technically, octopi isn't correct.
What?
And even if it sounds fancy. So language is a little weird, right? But apparently octopus, if the word octopus was Latin, in Latin, a word that ends in US would become I in plural, like cactus, cacti. Right. But cactus is cacti because it's Latin.
Makes sense.
But because octopus is Greek and not Latin, it technically, the plural of octopus is octopodes. Octopodes.
Oh, like D-I-S?
D-E-S.
Oh.
So it's octo.
Interesting.
Podes is how you would say it. So octopi is technically correct, but it's popular and it's correct in something. Maybe it's not even correct. It's technically not correct.
Dang. Our whole childhood is a lie.
And Greek, because it's historically accurate and it's not used. Online it said it's rarely used, but it's not really used. It's technically octop.
Can I see it?
Octopodes. Octopodes. Right there.
Oh, is
that's how you say it?
Octopodes.
Octopodes is the correct plural of octopus.
Dang,
it's not octopi.
So different too.
So, octopuses is correct and widely accepted. Octopi is popular but technically wrong. And octopodes is super correct. But according to the internet, you'll sound like a time traveler.
I wonder how that got started. Is it just like the Latin people taking over?
It's not Latin people taking over, because that would be Latin America you're talking about nowadays.
Right.
Not necessarily.
Wait, so Latin. Where does the Latin language come from, even? I sound so stupid. But where does it come from? I never thought about it.
I'm assuming Latin comes
Isn't
from
that a thing?
Europe?
Greek Latin?
I'm sure it's like
Hang on.
Here, I'll ask. How about we ask chat? He's
Oh,
quick.
that's your favorite hobby.
Where did Latin come from? Latin came from a region in Italy called Latium. It was originally spoken by Latins, a small tribe that settled there, and as Rome grew from a city-state into a massive empire, Latin spread across Europe, North Africa, and parts of Middle East.
That makes sense because, like, you know, in, like, older churches, they'll read in, like, the original Latin in, like, the Vatican.
Right, so,
that
like...
makes sense.
Yes,
okay.
yes. So, as, like...
I'm sorry, everyone.
So, as the Roman Empire fell, Latin became...
More, like...
Spanish, Italian, French, probably, like, those sort of... Which is what we speak.
Oh, Marnie, you're
now.
Up here. I didn't know she was up here.
And I'm sure, like, that's where they got, like, obviously, like, English words, too, so.
Wow. That was a very informative, not so fun fact. It was fun,
It
Dave.
makes you think, like, what the hell, like...
What other words are incorrect?
No, what other languages are older than that? Because, like, the fall of the Roman Empire isn't that far away, technically speaking.
Right.
This is what I hate. I hate talking about this shit because then it makes me, like... It pisses me off because I know that we're not as old as they want us to think we are. You know? We're not as
young?
Old as...
What?
Yeah, we're not as young. Is it young?
Yeah. Like shit goes back bajillions of years.
Bajillions of years versus...
That's a scientific term.
Versus what they tell us. Like, I know we're older than just from Jesus Christ. And, from the Roman times, from, like... 15,000 BC, like...
We go back to the Homo sapiens, for sure.
I hate talking about this because it doesn't make sense, and, like, there's nowhere to research it.
Yeah.
Because our history's limited,
That's true.
And it's so annoying because it's like, okay, I'm obviously smart enough now to know that we don't, like, date back fucking 40,000 years ago.
Oh, yeah. It's billions of years, probably.
Yeah, and, like, the whole, like... Nah, dude. I hate thinking about it. No.
She's going,
It's even worse when you're stoned. Like, it's even worse as fuck when you're, like, stoned. And, like... Which I'm sober. I'm not, I'm not smoking the marijuana.
The ganja.
Yeah, it's illegal over here. You can't
Lame.
do that. Lame. We're from California, bro.
Light it up, light it up.
But yeah, anyway.
That was a fun fact, though. I don't know. You're straying away a little bit. I'm like enjoying your facts lately, and I don't think I'm supposed to.
Well, I hope that it makes you think.
It does.
To the extent
it is like a little mind shattering.
That's what I want it to be. If it's not so fun, like in the other sense, if it's not like morbid, I want it to be like
shock the system.
I want you to feel what my existential crises are.
We should rename it to Existential Crises with Marbles.
I think that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Oh man! All right. Well, on that note,
new season. I think we're due for a new season.
Are we?
A new season of What's Your...
I mean, we're a little bit past. We're about 13 weeks past our year episode, so we might have to make it like
13?
a year. Not weeks, months. Months? Weeks. Yeah, 13 weeks past. But
oh, that reminds me. Oh my god.
What?
One more thing. So, I started this journey years ago, and I failed terribly and miserably every single time in between. But I can proudly say that I do not know the correct date, but I can proudly say that I am safely and confidently 1 year smoke-free.
Yay!
You know how hard it is?
Hey.
Like,
everybody clap for Marbles.
Yay, claps for Marbles.
That's a very fun fact.
It is. It has been very hard because sometimes, I drink and sometimes I want to smoke, Sometimes I want a little ciggy. Sometimes I want a little sucky, But, then I just realized, just
It's not worth it.
Even if I am like under the influence, I know that I shouldn't. You know, like what's the fun in that?
The pros do not outweigh the cons.
Yeah, I know. And I am still asthmatic, but that's my own fault. So sort of, partly. I think it's genetic.
It's like half and half.
My sister's severely asthmatic, so maybe it's genetic, but half and half.
Yeah.
Anywho,
good job, babe. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyone out there that is also struggling with quitting,
If
I
anything,
don't know the struggle,
Yeah.
but Marlene does.
any sort of addiction, I know it.
We support
Yeah.
you. We believe in you. If you need to talk, reach out to us. I will show Marlene because
Yeah,
she understands
you
I'm probably not the one to talk to about that.
Yeah, you can reach out to us. There's hotlines too.
Yeah.
But
We're supporting you.
Help is there, and you'll be okay. We'll be okay, everybody.
Yeah, you got this.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. That's not a song.
I like it though.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
I'll write it for you and get back to you next week.
Alrighty, I'm switching it over to you now.
My turn. Yay.
Yeah. You can tell me to shut the fuck up.
I would never on air. That was a nice little transition there.
I love you.
I love you, babe. My smoke-free wife.
Can you see? Do you need light?
Yeah, I think it's actually better if I take my glasses off.
I could do this.
Maybe just sit on. Yeah, if you guys like weren't here during the episode, we discovered this. With our new lighting we had installed in our house, we can't have the lights on.
Let's see.
In
Try
our
it.
recording area.
Try it now. Maybe it's changed.
No. This is fine. I can see.
You sure?
Yep. So
I
we
was blind, and now I see. I was blind. I have to pee. Okay,
just
go.
went.
I know. Okay, go. Sorry.
All right. So this week's topic is yet another suggestion from Marlene's former coworker, Mike.
Yo.
A big thank you to Mike for
Yes,
always
shout
coming
out.
through with the suggestions.
Yeah.
We love it.
How did I know it was gonna be someone that I know? I felt it. I was like, I know she's gonna say someone in it.
It's funny. You've got the intuition.
Ooh, the intuition. All right, yeah, heck yeah.
Okay.
Shout out.
Shout out. So, Mike suggested that we cover Turnbull Canyon in Whittier, California.
Okay.
Have you heard of this place?
No, I've never heard of this place.
I haven't either. Speaking of like me knowing all of the
Like,
stories,
all these stories.
I have not heard of this place, and I grew up in like Southern California.
Yeah, but Whittier was still like over an hour away from
Yeah,
you.
it's pretty far. I don't even know if I've ever been there.
I had family there.
Nice.
So
Maybe
we'd
you've
be-
been like by this canyon.
Maybe. I wouldn't know. I was
Potentially.
a baby
You
when
were
I was
little.
I was like 10 years old.
I see. Okay, so very minimal history this time. In the 1870s, Robert Turnbull, a Scottish immigrant, purchased the canyon from Quaker businessmen.
Quaker oatmeal.
Yes.
Yo, that it used to give me nightmares. The Quaker oatmeal guy.
Really?
Yes, my sister can attest to that. She will tell you that I was afraid of the Quaker
my
oatmeal guy.
It's okay. I was afraid of Chuck E. Cheese when I was like really little.
I would like turn around the can
the canister.
the canister of oatmeal.
So we couldn't stare into your soul.
Nope. Scary ass guy. Dude, have you actually seen him though?
I'll have to take a look.
Dude, fuck, you gotta include it in the post.
In the post, okay. Throw everybody off.
My harmonica too, you gotta put it up.
Okay, all right. I'll take a picture of you with it.
Okay.
All right. So, Robert Turnbull originally intended to raise sheep on the land that he bought, but he ended up selling it back to the Quaker oatmeal men in the 1880s. Not long after that, he actually became the town drunk and ended up murdered.
Jeez.
And it's actually still a mystery how he was murdered. He was just found dead in the LA River one day.
He also could have like poisoned himself, you know?
Yeah, or just there was like a blow to his head. So that was
Oh.
determined as like the cause of death, but it still was never like solved because it was like the 1880s. So
Right, it's like, oh shit,
was-
this guy's gone, alright.
yeah.
Damn, it must have been easy to get away with murder then.
Well, yeah. Hello, Jack the Ripper finally just got like found out because
Is this like the old ass guy?
the one in London that was like a mystery of who he was until like literally now. which
is
like
because of DNA.
Yeah, I think so. I need to, you know what? I need to make that like a mini episode or something, or someone can suggest it too, because I mean, Jack the Ripper in itself is a story.
I actually don't know anything about Jack the Ripper. I just know he's a murderer and whatever.
Yeah, literally. Just
okay, I suggest it. Can you take my story? Can I?
Yes, I will
expedite it.
Submit it into.
It's a rush order, by the way. I'm gonna need it in like 2 days.
You're traumatized from work.
A little bit.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper, not a cool guy. But, yeah, Robert Turnbull, he did. And after his death, the Quakers decided to name the canyon after him in his honor. So, Turnbull Canyon.
Damn.
So,
all he did was just drink, too. He was just a drunk.
Yeah.
He was a drunk that got
I mean, we don't know the guy. He could have still been nice and, like, a good guy. Yeah, he was
probably a good guy. You're right. No, you're not shaming drunks, dude.
He just liked to get drunk.
I get it. Relatable.
So, in the 1890s, oil exploration and drilling began in Turnbull Canyon, and a dirt road was constructed through the canyon to allow for those activities.
What year was this again?
The 1890s.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yes.
Good. I'm glad you concur.
Yes, because the canyons behind my house, that's where the oil...
the fracking?
The fracking. The fracking. One of the first points of fracking was there. Oh. Yeah, they called it the black gold rush.
It's depressing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the oil exploration was, like, booming in this area and whatnot, and so people were obviously in there working. And in 1900, 2 oilmen were chased out of the canyon by 2 large cougars, and a lot of people see this as a foreshadowing event of the terrors to come. I felt like I was in church just now. All right.
I think you melted off a little bit there.
Melted off?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because you were in church there for a little bit.
Yeah.
You get it?
No.
Like, you know how you walk into a church and it starts to burn?
Oh, the word melt threw me off.
So what would have helped?
I don't know.
I don't think anything would have
Shut up. You know what? You gave me alcohol. What do you expect?
Drunk.
And misunderstanding.
It's fun. It's fun. We're not drunk. We're actually just like a little tipsy.
We're splitting a hard lemonade.
We are splitting a hard lemonade.
And we're like, oh my God, I'm so drunk.
I'm so drunk. It's like high school all over again.
Yeah, for real. So now I am basically going to go over a good amount of the deaths that took place in Turnbull Canyon.
Damn.
But definitely not all of them.
Because it was haunted or just accidents?
These are just accidents.
Whoa.
Well, they were bad things that happened.
Okay, let's hear it.
So things start off in 1952 when a plane, Flight 416, was traveling from New York City to Los Angeles. It is believed that the captain decided to fly a little lower than the suggested altitude because there was very thick fog. Of course, this turned out to be a bad idea. The wing of the plane got caught on like the side of a mountain, and the plane crashed into the canyon, and all 29 passengers on board died.
Damn.
And yeah, people didn't even know about it for hours because the fog was so thick until they started seeing like smoke.
Yeah, they probably like heard a boom and they were like, "What?"
Right,
the
like
hell?
wonder what that was.
Right.
So next, we're jumping all the way to 2002. A 17-year-old girl named Gloria was shot in the head and killed on Turnbull Canyon Road. 6 years later, 3 men who were thought to be Gloria's friends were arrested for her murder.
Wow.
And the reason? They thought she would rat them out for a robbery that they committed. So they offed her. Now in 2009, a woman named Christine Martinez was attacked by friends and left for dead at Turnbull Canyon. They beat her up, slashed her throat, and jammed needles into her before they threw her into a ravine. She somehow managed to make her way out of the canyon and to a person's house and knocked on the door. She survived, and the 2 men who attacked her did get arrested.
Damn.
I don't know what's with all these friends, like, attacking their friends like that.
That, and, like, I feel like it's probably, like, it was probably, if not, like, if it's not anymore, but a very desolate area.
Yeah, for sure. And lastly, in 2011, this next woman was not so lucky. Her boyfriend shot her in the head and dumped her in the canyon and fled to Mexico. She didn't make it, and the man wasn't arrested for 6 years.
He wasn't arrested?
Well, he was arrested, but not for 6 years. Because he fled to Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to get into some of the more alleged stuff that went down there. So we're going back to the Great Depression. During this time, families were obviously struggling, so a lot of parents actually had no other choice than to give their kids to orphanages in hopes that they would get fed.
Oh my God.
I know, that's so sad. In hopes. Like, it's not even, like, a guarantee, because, you know, imagine orphanages at that time.
Yeah.
So obviously, the orphanages were becoming very overcrowded, and at this same time, there was a cult that became known to the community that would supposedly adopt small children from these overcrowded orphanages and keep them in an old barn in the canyon. And even more allegedly, I guess one of these children was taken to the top of the tallest hill in the canyon and slaughtered. I guess probably like as a sacrifice.
Jesus.
Adoption became a less reliable source for them because they probably started getting like questioned, like, why are these, you know, like.
Right.
So the cult members started picking up runaway children, and soon they were just straight up kidnapping kids from their homes or off the streets or whatever. Soon after the kidnapping, though, the cult kind of just faded out of existence, but not completely. There have been multiple accounts of people seeing cloaked figures in the canyon at night, and I guess there are even message boards like online for survivors of the ritualistic abuse from these cults.
Wow.
And one anonymous poster on these boards said they recognized one of these cult members as someone who had an influential standing in society, but they wouldn't name them. But it came off kind of like they were maybe someone in the local government or something like that in the cult. Okay, so now we're in the 1930s.
Okay, but a quick thing about the parents giving up their kids to the orphanage. Like, was that just like fucking widely accepted at the time? Like, oh yeah, I couldn't afford to feed my child, so I just gave them up.
I've heard of someone like I've heard of that somewhat in history. Just like they couldn't take care of their kids, and so they would give them up in hopes that they would be able to go back and take them back into their homes when they're doing better for themselves. Mm-hmm. But I feel like those kids shouldn't be up for adoption, in my mind, or maybe be like the last one. I don't know how orphanages work, obviously, but I feel like they should be like at the end of the list for being adopted.
Right. I guess my thing is like, but is it just like widely accepted at the time that these parents are just giving up their children?
Like, I think it was like a common thing. Yeah.
Like, oh, what happened to Jimmy? Oh, I had to give him up. I just couldn't feed him anymore. So I'm out here having a drink at the bar because I can afford
No,
that.
for real. I feel like it would, like, I guess, like, they didn't have it, like, they would be starving themselves, and so they're like, well, at least, like, I hope that's the case, and they weren't just like, well, there's only enough food for me and my wife, so the kids gotta go to the orphanage, you know, I hope.
Right.
Like, if they could afford any food,
yeah, like, what the fuck was the
kid?
Yeah, what was the situation at that point, you know, like...
But I have heard of this before.
And it's like, oh, yeah, man, I had to do that to Joseph last week, too. Man, cheers, dude. You know?
Like, hopefully we see him again someday. Like,
yeah, that's wild.
I know. It's crazy. Okay, so now we're in the 1930s, and at this time,
That's your child.
That's my child. Binks is crying for me.
Maybe we should give him up for adoption too.
No, my son. I feed him, I promise.
My son.
So, at this time in the 1930s, there was supposedly a hospital in the canyon. According to a former nurse of the hospital who chose to go by the name Esther, it used to be an insane asylum where most of the patients had a mental illness, but, probably not all of them. And unfortunately, this was during a time when electroshock therapy and lobotomies were quite common.
Whack.
Yeah.
Fake medicals.
Just admit you don't know the answer, bro. You don't have to go poking a brain.
Let me poke your brain through your eyeball and break your behind the eye bone just to get to that brain.
Oh, and you're going to be awake the whole time.
Yeah, cool, you'll feel everything, but it's cool though. This is science. Science for you.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor, dude. I'm a man and a doctor.
Yeah, no arguing with that. So according to Esther, in the early 40s, there was a fire that completely destroyed the hospital.
Ryan started the fire. It was always burning.
Esther started the fire.
Esther started the fire.
But it was really sad. The whole hospital burned down.
Boom.
And Esther and one doctor were the only ones to survive. The rest of the staff and all of the patients died.
That's sus.
Yeah, it is like a little... I mean, it was in like the Southern California canyon, so a fire could have started, but like, I wonder how... If it like came through the canyon or if it was like just where the hospital was.
And only them two saw it to like save themselves? Nah, that's weird, dude.
Alrighty. It is time to get into the happenings.
Yay.
Because, of course, it's haunted.
Right.
That's why we're here.
Of course.
So one of the first recorded experiences happened in 1962 to a group of college kids who went to explore the remains of the burned up hospital one night. Naturally, they were drinking and doing drugs.
Fun
times. So at one point, one of them walks over to like this old rusted up piece of something from the fire, and he ran his fingers along it, and he called his friends over to show them because he thinks he found where they did the electroshock therapy back in the day. Then all of a sudden, a bolt of electricity ran through his body. The voltage was so high, he caught on fire and burned to death.
What the hell?
His eyes it said his eyes like popped from the voltage.
Whoa. Yeah. Also, let me talk about the mood set in this room right now because there's no light and we have a flashlight.
It's like a campfire.
Yeah, it's like a campfire. It's like shining from under our chins, Like we're just like,
I'm into it.
And his eyes popped out of his head. Kind of mood.
I dig it. Oh yeah, so the crazy thing is obviously the electricity has been shut off for like 20 years. So like
it's just like the hospital
it's
we
like
were
the
at.
hospital we were at where a machine beeped at us that there was no power.
There's no power.
It was pitch black in this whole hospital.
It was off. Everything was off.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my god.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What a time. And we're going back in a couple weeks.
Ooh.
We'll definitely keep you guys updated on that fun
I mean,
experience.
as long as the weather's fine, because I'm not gonna get caught in.
I know.
You know me. If the weather's gonna be funky, we're not gonna be.
Keep an eye.
We're not gonna be clunky.
If the weather's gonna be funky, we ain't gonna be clunky.
Mm-mm.
Put that on a shirt. Okay.
I would like 10 stickers with that, please.
So now we are moving on to the mid-70s. This story comes from a woman named Cynthia. Cynthia! Jesus died for our Cynthias. Jesus cried, run away, bride. 22 Drum Street, what up?
What up?
You guys get it. Can you put the light back over here a little bit?
I thought I did.
I like how it was up, like here. Like this.
Yeah?
Like that.
Oh, I was hurting my eyeballs.
Is this better?
Maybe if you put it under your legs.
Here.
There you go. Is that okay?
Yeah, that should work. Okay. So Cynthia has a story. Her boyfriend was driving her and 2 of their friends through the canyon. He was driving really recklessly, like almost running them off the road twice.
Lame.
And Cynthia was not having it. And she about had it when they got to Palm Tree Pass. This part of the canyon is known for its 180-degree turn at the edge of a cliff. Cynthia's boyfriend came at this turn pushing 80 miles an hour.
Idiot.
So
I already know.
Impossibly, the car did not fall off the cliff, but it did spin around multiple times. So once it stopped, Cynthia got out of the car and was like just letting her boyfriend have it. I mean, like, he definitely could have killed them. Yeah. 100%.
No, 100%.
So as she's like freaking out at him, she looks towards the edge of the cliff and she sees a boy and a girl younger than him standing on the other side of the guardrail a few feet back with just the cliff behind them. She said they were wearing, quote, old clothes, vintage stuff, the kind you find in really old movies. So someone investigated where this happened, and it's pretty obvious that there is no room to stand on the other side of that guardrail. It's just like a few inches and then a drop down the cliff.
Yeah, it's probably like the canyons in the back of my house.
She saw the kids standing a few feet back with a cliff behind them.
Yeah, just fucking floating there.
No, they were standing on ground a few feet back with a cliff behind them. But when someone went back and looked, it was just a drop to, like, nothingness. There was no cliff, like...
Yeah, they would have just been floating there.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Cynthia saw them standing on dirt a few feet back from the guardrail with a cliff, like a mountain behind them.
Yes, but they were just floating there. There's no ground there.
Right, I'm just saying that all of that, like, materialized when she saw them.
Yes.
Which means none of it was real, obviously.
Yeah, because there was just a couple inches off the rail.
Right. Yes. So she, like something...
What she saw materialize was just actually floating there. Behind the guardrail.
She saw materialized ground and a mountain and children.
But no ground was there.
None of that was there. No, kids weren't there, obviously.
No shit, yes. What I'm saying, under that materialized, where the thing was people listening to this are going to be like, yes, she's right. And
oh my God.
What's materialized is like here. For anyone listening, I'm giving Alyssa a visual, so I know that we're understanding each other. So what materialized is right here, but the girl saw, like, that the kids were standing on something.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a couple inches off where the 180-degree turn was.
Like the fact that she saw these kids, like, is completely impossible, even if they were real, because nobody would be able to actually stand there.
Right, because technically they would just be floating here.
Right, which is impossible, obviously. But she saw them standing on solid ground with a solid mountain behind them.
Yes.
Okay.
But in real life, in this dimension, there's nothing there to hold them up, so they're floating there.
Right.
What's materialized is floating there.
I guess.
Okay, yes, that's just what I wanted to...
Okay. Ay.
I mean, ay to you too.
But yeah, that was Cynthia's story. Cynthia. People will also see a man hanging from a noose, which is always on the same tree. And of course, when they turn around and go back, there is no man hanging. People have heard footsteps, like, charging at them, only for nothing to be there at all.
That's, like, my biggest fear. Like, when we're out, like... Investigating?
Yeah.
Like, just... that
that is like a scary thought.
That's
for sure.
what I like fear the most.
People's phones will suddenly die, which is pretty common with being in, like, a paranormally charged area.
Right.
Weather happening, like, right outside the canyon won't be happening inside the canyon. Like, someone said it had been raining for days in Whittier. And then when they went into the canyon, the ground was completely dry.
Okay, but that's also just like basic weather, though.
I guess, but you
because
think
the clouds get stuck on the mountains. That's
you
just
think it
science.
would at least get like the beginning of the trail going into it or something, you know?
No.
It's like completely like right as soon as the trail starts, it's like dry wet.
Yeah, but that also depends on where the mountains are placed there, because the mountains will stop the clouds. That's why the inward valley, like in LA and all that stuff, like is like at least 10 degrees cooler than the valley, because the clouds from the morning, what's it called, like that beach cloudy weather,
Overcast.
The overcast gets caught on the outer valley mountains, which that's why when you drive from the valley into the city, like LA, that's why it's always 10 degrees cooler in LA than the valley, because the overcast mountains clouds get caught on the mountains there.
Yeah, but I still think it's crazy that there's like a straight up line of like when you enter the canyon from wet to dry. That's like the crazy part to me.
I'd have to see it.
Okay.
It's science to me,
okay.
though.
Also, there is some kind of see if this is science. There is some kind of canyon cryptid that resides there. The following is a description of it. It was light in color, about the height of a house cat, about as fat as a larger dog. Its fur looked like rabbit fur, but we couldn't see any ears. It also ran with the motion of a gerbil, except that it cleared a 2-lane street in only seconds.
The chupacabra?
Sure, probably. Yeah, they're. I think the name was like, what was something like Turnbull Fuzzy or something like that. I don't know. It's a very niche, low key cryptid.
I guess so. I've never heard of it.
Me neither. People have seen figures, not shadow figures, actual figures, and you might just think these are, people in the mountains.
Yeah, just hiking or something.
Well, if they are people that can run down 20 yards of a mountain in just a couple seconds.
That's creepy.
Yep. Especially like if it's at night that people are probably seeing this.
Or just in the daytime.
In the daytime, it's creepy too.
Yeah, because then you're like, what the fuck? Like
you don't expect to like see things like that in the daytime anywhere. I feel like,
No.
When making certain turns, people often find themselves back where they started, which I guess is possible in a canyon, but it's like a fork in a road kind of thing.
Yeah, but also not really though.
Yeah, because that's the whole
just
point.
A street, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you remember that trail behind my house, that would take us to the back where we saw the little river up in the mountain. Mm-hmm. You remember that? Mm-hmm. So like months and months, maybe a whole year before I knew you, I would hike that all the time, alone, of course. Like I'd go to work, get out, and just go hiking. And I had this one time where the sun was still out. It was like maybe 4:00 or something, and I was hiking, but I felt like this eerie feeling, and I like took off one of my headphones because I'd always have my headphones on, and I took out one of my headphones, and like everything just sounded normal. But then when I put my headphones back in and I just started I wasn't jogging, I wasn't running, I was just like fast walking, I guess. And then I just felt this like sensation like overcome my body, and I felt like someone was watching me. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me keep walking. And it got worse and worse as I kept on walking, even though I had my good music on, and I just like
I would just feel like creepier with music, because then I wouldn't be able to like hear my surroundings.
And so I switched it out to my speaker, and even with my speaker, it felt worse for some reason, because I feel like the cover in my ears was like sort of like a shroud for the feeling. But when I stripped my ears from it, it just felt like I was like, I need to get out of here. Right. That was the only time on that trail that I ever felt like, weird because I would go back alone. I'd go in the morning, afternoons kind of thing. I even took you, and even times in between that when I'd go hiking without you.
Oh, and the cats are here. Jesus Christ.
Jeez, that was unnecessary. What the fuck?
You guys, we're almost done. Can you wait like a minute?
But, dude, no. I mean, that eerie feeling, like, if you feel it, that's, like, for good reason. For sure.
Well, speaking of our last little snippet here, children can be seen swinging from trees and staring at you.
Fuck that.
And that was the story of Turnbull Canyon.
Whoa.
Thank you, Mike. I know.
That was creepy.
There's like a whole lot of stuff to talk about there. And like I said, I did not cover all the deaths. Like there were definitely multiple other ones for sure. But
that's creepy.
I could just go on and on and on about that, So a lot of people have died there, like before any spooky things.
Well, just imagine all the collective deaths in all the canyons in Southern California.
Yeah. True. Well, and then also, of course, this was like native land at some point. So that doesn't always necessarily mean it's haunted.
Yeah.
Just something to take into account.
No, yeah. I always had a theory that there was a witch's house in one of the canyons I used to drive through. Did I ever show you that or tell you about it?
I don't know.
I won't talk about it on here because I get creeped out talking about stuff like this. Like,
you do.
But
understandably.
Anyways,
I'm so glad you're on a spooky podcast with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I always say I love learning about things I've never heard of. So if you guys have any suggestions, even if it's like really obscure that you don't think anyone's ever heard of, I want to hear about it. So
yes, me too.
Yeah,
actually,
let's have them.
But also your dreams. I am very interested.
Let's
in
get
your
those
dreams.
Dreams sent over.
You know what?
Sure.
I'll be like a freaking what are they called? One of those like
dream interpreter.
Yeah, dude. I'll even put on a cloak and shit.
Sounds good. Where can they send those suggestions and dreams to?
You can send your suggestions and dreams and your aspirations and inspirations to whatsyourfavoritescarystory@gmail.com, or you can send them to
our Instagram messages, which is also What's Your Favorite Scary Story.
And
we love you guys.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you for the support. Thanks for listening. We see you. We hear you. We feel you. We love you. We are here, and
we appreciate you. And
yes, we do.
Don't stop being you. You be the best you can be. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, you guys know what to do. Have a good week and
stay spooky.
Take us out, Marlene.